table set perfectly. What a beautiful sight. Laughter fills the air, a welcome so sincere. Linger here a moment, let your heart draw near. Open arms of kindness, every waiter smile so bright. Come and taste the wonder, come and feel the grace. Every flavor tells a story in this cherished place. Calocalia calls you, joy in every bite. Where the food is heaven and the price feels right. Culinary magic, Dutch bitter, balance divine. Alfredo, fettuccine, every dish a golden sign. Lasagna layered deep with smoky sausage art. Iga bakar, fried rice warming up your heart. Affordable for all, true luxury from the start. Come and taste the wonder, come and feel the grace. Every flavor tells a story in this cherished place. Calocalia calls you, joy in every bite. Where the food is heaven and the price feels right. Rich aromas drifting, zuppa soup in the air. Every server greets you with exceptional care. Suncloud mocktails glowing, sendal dough, it's so sweet. Truffle olive ball and flavors you will want to meet. Almond butter coke melting, a dessert so complete. Soft music playing, cushioned seats embrace. Warm and cozy corners, your own private space. From the first hello to the final goodbye, the staff make every moment feel like you can fly. Unforgettable moments shared with those you love. Rum and raisin gelato, sweetness from above. Avocado float that dances on your tongue, nourishing the soul with every song unsung. Taste and see that goodness, Calocalia, second to none. Come and taste the wonder, come and feel the grace. Every flavor tells a story in this cherished place. Calocalia calls you, joy in every bite. Where the food is heaven and the price feels right. At the peak of my dream, the path became clear. A silent shadow locked every stride. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Like a soldier waking from years of a storm, accepting a life in a different form. The grief of the field, I leave it behind to heal the body and quiet the mind. At last I am rising on my own, finding a strength I've never known. Though the pain lingers deep in my soul, I'm walking again, I'm finally whole. It's not easy to let go of the glory I held, when every ambition was suddenly felt. But in every scar there's a truth to be found, a new kind of growth on this common ground. But I know He knows better than me, the secrets of life I've yet to see, calming the heart that used to mourn. In His perfect will I am reborn. At last I am rising on my own, finding a strength I've never known. Though the pain lingers deep in my soul, I'm walking again, I'm finally whole. Peace in my soul, the best for me. They didn't take the tower down, they just renamed the wind. They took the howl out of the wolf and made it safe to spin. They didn't ban your questions, just made the answers thin, then handed you a script to read and told you truth begins within. They paved the roads with promises and billboards full of light. They told you that your pain was wrong, your anger impolite. They didn't steal your memories, they made you doubt your side. then thanked you for your loyalty as you vanished overnight. The word came first, and then the rule. They built a school to make you cool, then clipped your tongue and trained your thought until you said what you were taught. No, no cage, no cell, no chains, no scream, just fewer colors in your dream. No violence here, just grammar games, until your prayers all sounded the same. They didn't break the poets' hands, they paid them to write safe, turning rebels into hosts of shows and risking to escape. They offered peace in sterile rooms and masked for every face, and called it growth when no one moved, and called it grace when we obeyed. You'll find no blood beneath the screen, no echo in the phrase, just narrowed hearts and lowercase gods and all the saints replaced. And still we say it isn't war, because the streets are clean. But war was never bullet shaped, it started in a dream. The word came first, and then the chains. The rest was ink, the rest was games. They made the scream a metaphor and told you not to feel it more. No flags, no guns, no marching feet, just empty eyes and endless screens. And every thought you once believed now sits behind a loading screen. So whisper loud while you still can, say something they won't understand. And if your voice begins to shake, it means that something's still awake. No need to shout, no need to fight, just hold your words beyond the night. For words you seek and burn and bite, what tear the veil and birth the light. Oh, I keep your name in drafts like a bruise I don't touch. 3 little words still say, but they weigh too much. Half of me still typing, half of me gone cold. From oversand, then I let it go. You got me paused on the edge again, screen still glows like a light that won't end. I wrote it soft, then I made it mean. Now it just sits there in between. Unsend drafts, unsend drafts, stuck in my hands. Unsend drafts, unsend drafts, say what I can.
Last one said I miss you, then I close the app. Next one said come home, but I deleted that. Got your little blue thread still alive on my phone. Every message I don't send feels more like home.
You got me paused on the edge again, screen still glows like a light the time, all while staying still, while being still as the time. And as the things roll past you, left and right, leaving you abandoned. Hard time. The heart of doing time is doing time without becoming undone. An anatomy of stillness and temporal flow, the aphorism, waiting, presents a radical reimagining of a common human experience, usually defined as a passive interval, a void to be filled or a delay to be endured. Waiting is here recast as an active existential discipline. The text suggests that waiting is not the absence of action, but a specific mode of moving through time that requires a profound reconciliation between the self and the temporal medium. The paradox of temporal kinesis. The central tension of the aphorism lies in the paradox of physical stillness paired with temporal movement. In a conventional sense, movement requires a change in spatial coordinates over a duration of time. However, the aphorism suggests the form of moving through that occurs precisely because one is staying still. By remaining physically fixed, the subject ceases to compete with the external world's velocity. The stillness allows the individual to observe the internal mechanics of time. When the body stops, the consciousness is forced to engage with the sheer weight and flow of the present moment. It is a transition from spatial kinesis to temporal kinesis. The subject is no longer traveling through a landscape, but is instead traveling through the when, becoming the medium as the time. The most philosophically dense portion of the text is the directive to exist as the time. Normally, humans experience time as an external force, a river that carries us along, or a clock that dictates our pace. We are subjects in time to move as the time implies a dissolution of the boundary between the observer and the observed to become as the time is to achieve a state of radical presence where the ego's resistance to the passing second vanishes. In this state, the individual does not spend or waste time, they embody it. This reflects a phenomenological shift where the self is no longer a victim of the clock's ticking, but rather the very medium in which the world unfolds. It is a meditative transcendence that transforms, waiting from a state of longing for the future into a state of total immersion in the present. The geometry of abandonment. The conclusion of the aphorism introduces a poignant sense of isolation. And as the things roll past you, left and right, leaving you abandoned. The symmetry suggests a world defined by horizontal movement, the frantic lateral rush of pain. By choosing to remain still, the individual falls out of the collective rhythm of the world. The left and right movement suggests a peripheral blur where the world is moving too fast to notice the stationary observer. This abandonment is the price of temporal stillness. To be still while the world rushes is to become a ghost in the machine. However, there is a hidden strength in this abandonment. While the world is caught in the momentum of its own rolling, the one who waits gains a perspective of the whole. They are abandoned by the world's noise, but in that silence, they gain the clarity of the witness. Stillness as resistance in the modern age. In a contemporary context, this aphorism serves as a critique of the cult of speed. Modernity equates movement with progress and stillness with stagnation. We are conditioned to fear waiting as a dead zone of unproductivity. Reframing waiting as an intentional act of moving through time challenges this narrative. It suggests that there is a profound depth to be found in the pauses, the ability to stay still and feel the world roll past without being swept up in its frantic current is a form of psychological resilience. To be abandoned by the modern pace is perhaps the only way to truly find oneself. Ultimately, the aphorism waiting teaches that stillness is not a vacuum. It is a dense, active state of being, where the individual, by ceasing to chase the world, finally learns how to inhabit time itself.
Your face up like you know the tune. Little
Little by little you walk into June, and I was fading till you came through, soft as a spark in the afternoon. My hands were empty, now they hold gold. You make the day feel slow. Afternoon bloom, you. Afternoon bloom, pull me through. Afternoon bloom, stay in view. Afternoon bloom, I'm lit by you. Bare feet on the floor, old fan turning slow. Peach on the table, honey in a bowl. You laugh with your eyes, I catch that shine. The whole room opens one petal at a time. And I was fading till you came through, soft as a spark in the afternoon. My hands were empty, now they hold gold. You make the day feel slow. Afternoon bloom, you. Afternoon bloom, pull me through. Afternoon bloom, stay in view. Afternoon bloom, I'm lit by you. If night comes early, hold my hand. We can keep this feeling in the sand. One more minute, one more trace. Your golden grin, your daylight fade. Afternoon bloom, you. Afternoon bloom, pull me through. Afternoon bloom, stay in view. Afternoon bloom, I'm lit by you. I loved you like I never loved you before, but you changed the day you walked out that door. You went and got help while I was in despair. I didn't believe our love was going anywhere. Oh, I'm singing these blues since you've gone away. You found your path, but I'm lost in yesterday. I'm waiting on a sign, maybe just a clue. But until then, I'll keep on
sometimes nothing. Sometimes we wait for nothing, and then sometimes nothing waits for us. The architecture of absence, an exploration of sometimes nothing. The aphorism, sometimes nothing, is a recursive meditation on the human condition, structured as a linguistic mirror that reflects our deepest anxieties and curiosities. It operates on a pivot. First, it addresses the internal state of human anticipation, and then it shifts to the external reality of the universe by inverting the relationship between the subject and the object, the void. The aphorism challenges our perception of purpose, mortality, and the nature of existence itself. The void of expectation. Sometimes we wait for nothing. The first movement of the aphorism, sometimes we wait for nothing, captures the inherent absurdity of human desire. We are creatures of anticipation, wired to look toward the horizon for meaning, fulfillment, or resolution. However, this line suggests a break in the causal chain of effort and reward. Waiting is traditionally an active state directed toward a specific end. We wait for a train, a lover, or a career breakthrough. To wait for nothing implies a state of suspended animation where the object of our longing is absent or perhaps never existed. This reflects the existential concept of the wait as described by thinkers like Samuel Beckett. In this context, waiting becomes a habit of being rather than a means to an end. It is a commentary on the futility of certain hopes and the realization that much of the human experience is spent in the lobby of an empty theater, expecting a performance that was never scheduled. The mirror of the unknown. And then sometimes nothing waits for us. The transition, and then acts as a temporal breach, leading us from our active psychological state to an objective inevitable reality. The reversal, sometimes nothing waits for us, transforms nothing from a passive absence into an active patient entity, where the first line deals with our internal projections, the second line deals with our destination. It evokes the gravity of the unknown and the ultimate silence of the universe. In a literal sense, this is a confrontation with mortality. At the end of the frantic pursuit of life, we may find not a grand revelation, but a return to the vacuum from which we emerge. However, it also speaks to the blank canvas of the future. It suggests that the world does not always have a preordained plan or a welcoming committee for our arrival. Sometimes we step into a space that is entirely empty, demanding that we either fill it or learn to inhabit the silence. Synthesis. The relationship between agency and the void. The relationship between these two states, waiting for nothing and having nothing wait for us, creates a loop of existential irony. It suggests that our search for meaning, the waiting, and the universe's indifference, the nothingness waiting for us, are two sides of the same coin. We often experience a sense of cosmic betrayal when our expectations are met with silence, yet the synthesis of these two ideas suggests a profound form of freedom. If nothing waits for us, then the structures of destiny and fate are dissolved. The void is not merely a vacuum of despair, it is a space of radical potentiality. Our waiting for nothing is the psychological preparation for an encounter with a reality that is unburdened by predetermined meaning. The interaction between our actions and the existential void reveals that meaning is not something we find waiting for us at the end of the road. Rather, it is something we must carry with us into the emptiness. The beauty and gravity of nothing. Sometimes nothing is not an expression of nihilism, but a poem of acceptance. It acknowledges the gravity of the void, the nothing that can feel heavy, cold, and final. But it also hints at the strange beauty of such a state, to recognize that we are waiting for nothing, and that nothing waits for us, is to be stripped of the illusions that clutter our consciousness. In this clarity we find a different kind of presence. When we stop demanding that the universe provide us with a destination, we become truly present in the journey. The aphorism serves as a reminder that nothing is the background upon which the something of our lives is drawn. By embracing the void, we find the courage to exist without the need for an ultimate witness or a guaranteed reward. Finding grace in the silent intervals of the cosmos.
He walked with the hush of the pines in his step, hat brim low and a secret he kept. Not a badge, not a gun, not a name folks knew, but the wrongness bent where his shadow blew. He could feel it in the corners, taste it in the well, hear it in the silence where a laughter fell, a twisted tune off key and slow. He'd murmur it don't belong, but it knows where to go. Wrongness ain't just broken, it's built from a lie, like a smile too wide or a tear too dry. Don't cry out loud, but it hums in the trees, and my granddaddy knew how to track what it breathes. It ain't just a sin, it's a song with no key. It's the mark of a witch, and the job fell to me. Pretty sparks, they lead you blind. The real thing hides in the slow design. It's not the howl nor the sulfur wind, but the door that creaks when it shouldn't bend. He taught me to listen where the silence folds, and to carry no fear, just ironing old codes. He'd whisper at dawn just as light would start. Son, you hunt for the thing that don't fit the heart. The witch ain't always a woman in rags. Sometimes it's a preacher with too many flags. Sometimes it's a garden that grows too fast, or a neighbor's smile that don't quite last. Wrongness don't bleed, it seeps, don't shout, but it keeps like a lantern that flickers where no wind creeps. You don't fight it with fists or with fire and stake. You outweigh its hunger, you know what's at stake. Wrongness is a rhythm, a beat gone sour. It's a milk sweet word that turns your mouth to flour, and the witches, they wear it like perfume and lace. But my granddaddy could see it move across a face. Don't trust the grin, trust the ground, he'd say. Where the wrongness is thick, the trees bend away. I saw him once stop dead in the road, eyes fixed on a farmhouse, silent and old. He said, she's in there, or what she became. The witch ain't a girl, it's a long old game. He knocked just once, didn't wait to be let inside. No screams, just a slow sunset. He came out wearing less weight than he brought, but his eyes had aged a year on the spot. And me, I'm the keeper of that quiet lore. Don't hunt with bullets, don't knock with war, but I know the wrong when it hums in the floor. I know what my granddaddy knew before. In the cloth of time, it's not crime, it's pre-crime. It's the curve in the line. It's the hush that don't match the color of the sky, the bird that don't scatter when the hawk flies by. It's the witch's laugh stitched into the seams. It's the way a town forgets what it dreams. So when I walk where the wind don't turn, the sound that the ashes learn, and if the air tastes like sugar on a rusted knife, I know the witch has twisted life. And I walk just like he did, slow and plain, through the bruise of the world, through the sideways rain. I walk with my back to the law and the town, tracking wrongness where it soaks the ground. Hey! The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus unto these bones. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied there was a noise, and behold a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, prophesy into the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, all my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. And shall you know that I, the Lord, have spoken it, and performed it, saith the Lord. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Judah, and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick, and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not shew us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel as fellows, and will put them with them, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with the idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And David my servant shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yeah, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
life we made, but through it all you stayed. I did not know how love could be so patient and so kind to me. While I was learning day by day, you held my hand, you stayed. You stayed, you stayed, with a faithful, gentle heart. Through every season of our lives, you never stood apart. You stayed, you stayed, like a gift from God above. And now I thank the Lord for you, for your patient, precious love. You gave me more than words could say, your care in every simple way. Not grand promises, not gold, but a hand for me to hold. God built a family around us. He filled our home with grace. And slowly I began to see His love upon your face. You stayed, you stayed, with a faithful, gentle heart. Through every season of our lives, you never stood apart. You stayed, like a gift from God above. And now I thank the Lord for you, for your patient, precious love. You were not holding me back, you were holding us together. You were shelter in the rain, you were steady through the weather. Now my heart is softer, now my eyes can see. The love I almost missed was standing next to me. You stayed, with a faithful, gentle heart. Through every season of our lives, you never stood apart. You stayed, like a gift from God above. And now I honor you with thanks for your patient, precious love. God knew what I could not see. He gave your hand to me. And after all these years, I know how precious your love has always been.
empty after all. True achievement comes when we live with God's design. Seek His kingdom first, and eternal treasures we'll find. Let this mind be in you, the mindset of Christ. Choose the better part, let His word be your life. Align your heart with heaven, set priorities true. Significance begins when God's kingdom shapes you. Beyond success, we rise to give a life of love, the way to live. Adding value, serving each day. Faith and purpose guide our way. Legacy flows when Christ we embrace. Significance shines through His grace. Love one another as Jesus has shown. Invest in people, don't walk alone. Plant seeds of kindness, live with intent. Transformation comes when our hearts are bent. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Lord. Anchor your life in His truth and word. Entrust to others, let disciples grow. Significance lasts when His love we show. Success ends with you, but significance flows through you. Legacy is not what you leave for people, but what you leave in people. Beyond success, we rise to give a life of love, the way to live. Adding value, serving each day. Faith and purpose guide our way. Legacy flows when Christ we embrace. Significance shines through His grace.
Mechanism of vision and image psychology. Deissima Siri. Critical reading in the book Psychological Analysis and Images shifts the focus from the psychology of the artist to the painting's semia, and psychological analysis and images takes several axes. First axis, theoretical collection of image epistemology, and in it, one psychobiography with the psychobiography. Illustration of how classical criticism used psychological analysis as a practice to analyze artists' contracts, such as Freud da Vinci's analysis. Book launch. Griselda Pollock and the book's contributors reject this approach, that the painting is not a satisfactory display for the artist, but rather an independent cognitive and aesthetic space to image as an open optical text, building a strong bridge between psychological analysis and visual semia. The book deals with the image as a complex network of signs and indicators that form in the subconscious. Critical depth artwork carrying multi-layered blades. The task of the critic is not only to describe what he sees superficially, but to decompose these cognitive and visual decipherals to understand the hidden or suppressed meaning within formation. The gaze and the recipient's location, based on Jack Lacan's concepts on which the book relies so heavily. Sight is not just an act of physiological vision, it is a complex web of desire and power. How does the painting compel the viewer's eye to adopt a certain attitude? Artwork has an effect. It looks at us as much as we look at it, and stimulates our deep neural and psychological responses. The application aspect of the tools for disassembly of artwork. How do we use the ideas of this book as a methodological tool within the financial professional? Dual eye reading methodology proposes an applied methodology that integrates metaphysical analysis, similar to Edmund Feldman's approach to description metaphysical analysis and psychological interpretation. In a practical step, the critic begins analyzing composition, lines, blocks, and colors, either in strict abstract schools like supremacy and Bohas, or in arts loaded with heritage insects. Then it moves on to understand how these formative elements create a psychological state, or how they embody visual conflict, the impact of memory and time on the painting, using book tools to analyze how collective and individual memory attends artwork. When reading the works of pioneers, whether in Iraqi, Egyptian, or Saudi art, we do not look at heritage symbols or decorations as mere nostalgia for the past, but as an attempt by the optical unconscious to restore an identity or restore a lost balance by restructuring it in modern forms. Create a flow in the subject, analysis of the interaction of the artist's body with the material of the work. We ask, how do the neurological and psychological reactions translate into brushstrokes or rough touches? According to the book, the substance itself becomes a medium for translation of unspoken desires. Third axis. Critical summary of the editor's biography and the status of the book. A little about Griselda Pollock is a professor of art history at the University of Leeds, and a pioneer in dismantling the male untraditional curriculum in reading art history. She boldly infused feminist theories and contemporary psychological analysis into the heart of academic criticism. The importance of the book. Psychological analysis and image is not just a historical book, but a practical guide that enriches the tools of the modern critic and frees it from impressionistic reading to provide a scientific analysis that links creative processes, neural networks of understanding, and psychological depth of receiving.
I loved you like I never loved you before, but you changed the day you walked out that door. You went and got help while I was in despair. I didn't believe our love was going anywhere. Oh, I'm singing these blues since you've gone away. You found your path, but I'm lost in yesterday. I'm waiting on a sign, maybe just a clue. But until then, I'll keep on singing these blues. You said you wouldn't come back until you got help. Left me here wondering all by myself. Now I'm singing these blues, trying to find my way. But I still don't know if you'll come back someday. Oh, I'm singing these blues since you've gone away. You found your path,
land does not forget. It does not choose. It receives.
Yours alone, pressed into a waiting ground. Every word you swore would disappear still turns beneath you now. Not a record, not a name, not a line that can be traced, but a weight you did not feel holding shade beneath the place. Nothing lost, nothing gone. It was there bones beneath our wandering feet still speak in their own way. Not in voice, not in flame, but in what will not be unnamed. Hands that broke the soil in winter cold, hands that built and buried deep. Every labor carried into dust is a promise the ground will keep. Not a king, not a throne, not a claim that stands alone, but a life pressed into form in the quiet of the loam. No decree, no command, only touch. In the land remembers what we cannot keep. The land remembers what we cannot say, and the bones beneath our wandering feet still speak in their own way. Not in sound, not in name, but in what remains the same. Not a story, not a file, not a memory stored a while, but a shaping slow and deep, something waking in the key. You are standing on it. Cities rise and write their laws and lines, draw their borders sharp and clean, but the ground beneath those careful marks knows what all of this has been. It does not argue, it does not plead, it does not forget the need. The land remembers what we cannot keep. The land remembers what we cannot say, and the bones beneath our wandering feet still speak in their own way. Not to judge, not to claim, but to hold what we became. The land knows, the bones remember. Listen.